I'd like to review briefly with you as this year 2017 ends some of the things that we did at the Caux Round Table, which I think are of long-term significance. Three of them were focused on our global dialogue, which was held in Wittenberg, Germany in early November of this year, 2017. And let me just briefly comment on them. One was the creation of an assessment format for companies, particularly corporations, to look at their values. And this, I think, is very important because if you think about it, ultimately it's values which set directions. Values include interest, they include selfishness, they include compassion, they include charity, they also include good thought, good due care. But it's values that basically drive your vision and your mission and what you try to accomplish. So I think one can say that depending on your values, so goes your life. Depending on the culture of a country, so goes the country. Depending on the culture of a company, small or large, so goes the company. And it therefore makes sense to look at how you assess your values. Now, people on the religious side have been talking to individuals for millennia about how to do this. Guidance from the Buddha, guidance in the Quran, the teachings of Jesus Christ, the dialogues of Plato, which want to talk about things like justice, and Cicero was writing on duty and being a good steward. All these things were mostly focused on individuals, but we also need to focus on organizations. So our colleagues at Oxford Analytica have helped us come up with a set of questions that companies can ask of themselves. Employees can do it about their company. The CEO, he or she, can do this for the company. Boards of directors can do it themselves, or they can ask to have it done. And then you get a sense as to what are our values. And then you can ask questions of, do we have the right values? So I think that's one very important thing which we're going to be promoting. The second thing is we are the participants in our global dialogue. We're thinking back about Martin Luther and how he came up with a focus on the individual and the individual making decisions. For Luther, I think, compared to us, it was fairly easy because Luther had a Bible and he had a faith in a God which was very strong for him. So he could say, have faith and go to the Bible, go to Scripture, and this will tell you what needs to be done to make this world better. For us, faith in what is up for grabs, and we don't have any scripture, or I should say we have competing scriptures. But I think for many people there is no scripture. They're just not sure who to believe or what to believe. Truth in many circles is more and more relevant. It's not so much old-fashioned truth as it is a narrative, a story. It makes us feel comfortable and we want to share our story. But if we can find faith, and if we can find something that works in common as something scriptural, some kind of statement of giving us purpose and meaning, then we could do a better job of making the world more prosperous and more peaceful. The next thing we looked at was, and I'm very pleased with this, is a way of taking the Protestant part of Christianity, which was really put into motion by Martin Luther 500 years ago, and saying, what do the Protestants have which is important to us today, 2017 sliding over into 2018, about how we should live and act? What sort of guidance do the Protestants have? But how can we do this so that the Protestant faith, and let's say the Catholic faith, because the Catholics have some very, very, to me, good and sound ideas about social teachings, about how we should relate to each other in the world, how we should use our power, our property, how we should engage with other people. Can we knit together Catholic social teachings and Protestant social teachings? Because if that starts to happen, then we can think about adding to the fabric, if you will, of human ethics, Islamic social teachings, Buddhist social teachings, secular social teachings, Eastern Orthodox Christian social teachings, maybe some other things. Because if we can knit that together, it then seems to me we create a networking context for people to really respect each other and work together for common benefit. Idealistic, I suppose, but practical, nonetheless practical. And we at the CRT will be doing our best to move in that direction, and we would like your help.